Now, the current state of the Star Wars franchise, we've seen that there's been a lot of change happening ever since Bob Iger took control as the Disney CEO after Chapek was fired by the Disney higher-ups, the board members, you name it, and basically now Iger wants to focus more so on movies again, as opposed to strictly just Star Wars TV shows, and he had a couple of things to say and really provided some big news for the Star Wars fandom up front to the overall community. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, as of right now, Bob Iger is really trying to make major adjustments to the franchise, making a lot of different changes to the overall roadmap and the structure of the franchise and where it's all going. And he actually had a lot of things to admit about when it comes to the current state of Star Wars and where it was before Bob Iger came back on board as Disney CEO. Now, the thing about Iger is that a lot of fans have a lot of criticism about him. A lot of fans aren't the biggest supporters of Bob Iger, right? Myself included, because he's the guy that allowed Kathleen Kennedy to do whatever she wanted to do with the sequels and with Solo, you name it, and where it all headed. Now, that brings us to the biggest thing here, is of course what Bob Iger had to say about his point of view on Star Wars, the overall franchise, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, and a whole lot more. So let's, tap right into all of this. Now, of course, given that Bob Iger is still working hand in hand with the Disney higher-ups to really stabilize the Star Wars universe. Of course, with Disney CEO Iger actively transforming the Star Wars franchise to focus on movies again for the fans, he eventually was able to talk directly to the fans for admitting something substantial. Now, Iger went on to state the following to the fans. One thing I will own with this massive franchise is that we were all wrong about Star Wars and its fans, and it's something that we deeply regret and are doing our best to fix right now for the community. In the beginning, we tried to play things safe with the first sequel trilogy movie, with The Force Awakens, and followed up by doing something different with The Last Jedi that didn't seem to work in our favor as well. It's now my sole goal to revitalize this brand and to bring it back to the cinemas while maintaining what fans have been enjoying on Disney Plus and finding the right balance for both formats to exist at once. Now let me just pause here quick for a second. Now Iger putting it up front that they, in his case we, were all wrong, everyone over at Disney, about Star Wars and the fans. Now, finally, they're admitting the fact that it was never a frequency issue, it was never an issue with Star Wars fans getting tired of the brand after The Last Jedi. It's just that fans had a lot of problems with the creative aspect. They're finally owning up to that, as Bob Iger says, and realizing that we were all wrong, okay? Disney themselves saying, of course, that they were all wrong about Star Wars. Now, the thing about Bob Iger is that he is basically creating a big plan for Favreau and Filoni. He's already given them a promotion already since he took over to actually have more control over the roadmap in comparison to Kathleen Kennedy, and that of course includes a lot of business and financial related choices that they will be making with the roadmap of Star Wars, and that's also great news. He's also allowing them to become a part of the upcoming Star Wars films as co-writers for some of the projects, and has a goal to put out 2 Star Wars movies a year. Now, of course, they're going to take their time until they build up to that goal. They want to create multiple trilogies, multiple one-off films, and Star Wars shows on the side. And you know what, to be honest, I like Star Wars in the theaters. I think it's where it belongs, and I'm not saying that shows are the wrong way. I'm just saying that it's great to have a mixture of formats, right? Where you have movies and TV shows that can, both work hand in hand together. That's where I think Star Wars thrives the most. And the last time we got that was back in 2019 when we have Mando Season 1 coming out, just before The Rise of Skywalker debuted. And I like it like that, where you have both formats and both choices. So moving beyond all of this, alright, Iger went on to continue by stating this to the fans. Now, he says, "We are working very close with John and Dave on the future and couldn't be more excited with what they are crafting for the fandom. Mr. Favreau and Filoni are taking the most respected material from Legends to be used for their storytelling, and we are working on satisfying the fans through and through for this universe. They are working on achieving the most unexpected reveals in this franchise that's going to truly give us a baseline to work with and expand our shows and films. We will be making more exciting announcements later this month about what Mr. Favreau and Filoni are putting together for the fans. We are excited to have George helping out with these two fine individuals and what's coming for the fans." Now, for those of you that don't know about anything about this, is that Celebration, Star Wars Celebration of 2023 this year, it's going to take place, I believe, in London. A lot of fans are looking forward to that, but everything related to Celebration is that it's going to have a lot of reveals, it's going to have a lot of announcements, it's going to also have a lot of revelations related to that. Now, obviously, Celebration is not going to be the biggest event when it comes to announcements. D23 of this year is also going to be another one. So they're going to work their way up to making all these announcements for the roadmap. Now, the thing about Bob Iger, alright, is that him saying that we were all wrong about Star Wars and its fans, right? Does this mean that they're desperate? Does this mean that this is damage control? It could very well be. Let's just be very honest and clear and real about that. It could very well be. But is there a slim chance that this could very well be a genuine side of Disney reaching out to the fans through the hands of John and Dave? Very much possible. We already know that John and Dave are passionate, they care about the fans, and given that they have promotions now, that gives them more privileges on a financial scale when it comes to these upcoming Star Wars shows, you're going to really expect and see a lot of change. There's no doubt about it. With all these upcoming shows and movies and comics, books, novels, and video games, I mean, everything is just going to work, I think. At the end of the day, it really all boils down to having John and Dave, the most passionate creators ever in the Star Wars realm, to kind of propel it into that actual new way of storytelling. Now, Iger obviously realizes that the old way is not going to work. Playing things safe, it's not going to work. You know, doing what they did with the sequels, it's not going to really work well. So that's why they're embracing evolving the franchise, doing some things that are very fun and satisfying for the fans, doing things that we have never seen before, and just really bringing back all of those fan favorite characters and using them and really kind of utilizing them in a very specific way. So, anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.